Hello and welcome back. This is Mark Stump, October 2013. I have a short video on metering. I want to talk about three metering modes. Spot metering, center weighted metering, and matrix metering. I almost did matrix first. So, if I were taking a picture right now, if I were taking a picture of myself in this scene with this camera setup, center weighted and I don't know exactly where the center of the frame is. I think it's about here. Center weighted metering would tell the camera to measure how much light is bouncing off the center of the frame and not worry so much about how much light bounces off of this or off of this. Just get the exposure correct in the center. Matrix metering is the other extreme. Matrix metering says look everywhere. Look at the bottom. Is this your bottom right, bottom left, top left, center? Look everywhere and average all of those values. And then base your exposure decisions. I mean, this is if you're allowing the camera to make exposure decisions, and even if you're not, this affects what the camera will tell you. I mean, if you're in manual mode, you're usually still making use of the camera's meter. The camera's telling you this is underexposed or overexposed. But the camera doesn't really know what you want, so you have to tell it, I want you to focus on the center, or focus on the entire frame, or focus on the entire frame but give the center more weight. So spot metering, it's just the center. Center weighted, it looks at the whole frame, but it gives more weight to the exposure in the center. And then matrix metering, where the camera doesn't assume that any one part of the frame is more important than another. It just looks at the overall exposure, looks at the exposure in all of those places and averages them. So that's it. Now, how do you use this? Well, let's say I'm standing in front of a window and there's a lot of light behind me. Actually, I think the real answer to this, if you are taking this picture, I think you should use fill flash. You put a flash on your camera and the flash will put enough light on my face so that my face can compete with with all of the light coming from the window. But if you don't have a flash, or for some reason you can't use a flash, don't want to use a flash, you could at least put your camera in spot metering, and then the camera will try to get my face right, and the window will probably end up being blown out. The term is blown out, but I mean it'll be all white. There'll be no detail, you won't be able to tell what's outside, it'll just be white. But at least my face will be correctly exposed, if that's what you wanted. If in that situation you use matrix metering, then you're going to get an average, and it might not be, it might make my face too dark and the outside might still be too bright. So you might get some average that doesn't really work for either the subject or the background. Going back to the flash for a minute. With Nikon, when I put my speed light on, the flash, the way that the flash works on auto will depend on which metering mode I'm in. If I'm in spot metering, the flash will just worry about getting my face correct, and it won't really care about the background. So my face will come out correct with the correct exposure, but the background may or may not. If I'm in matrix metering with that speed light, then the camera will try really hard to balance. They'll use what they call balanced fill flash. So then the camera will try to make it so that both my face and the whatever's outside the window are correctly exposed. So that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.